Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things have come to light, and, you know, has it ever occurred to you that instead of, uh, running around blaming me, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple, you know?
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light. And shit, man.
I'm going to talk to you about the new boss mode and whether you should get it, whether it's worth it, whether I got it, whether I think it's worth it. The general concept here is that I never liked the long form before. I just literally am all about that template life. And if you're like me, then it's because maybe you felt it was faster, maybe you felt that it was more reliable, but they went and acquired shortly AI. Okay, so they went on ahead and improved their long form, and I like that. That's fine. It still wouldn't have been necessarily enough for me. They were able to for people like me, able to kind of bring it right all together. So now we got our templates right next to our long form right there. So that is pretty awesome. We could generate our little blog outline for this question, and now we could actually have this all play along, and there's all sorts of different little commands, and that's interesting. But here's the key thing, that there's two things to know about this, and that is you can have so how to find out what you're good at and enjoy doing. Okay, think about what you're good at doing and enjoy doing. Okay, so think about it. So basically how to think about it. You go like, this is going to be kind of redundant, you'd say. Well, let's at least see what the compose would go on ahead and do. It's important to find work that you are passionate in doing, or a job that the job will just end up being a chore, So what this is doing right here is it's trying to already come up with the fact that it read that you had a 1, and now it's giving you an answer, and now it's giving you another headline thing. So that speaks to the fact that it's trying to read you like as if you're doing charades, and then it points to you or you point to it, and then it's going to try and act out what it thinks given your sort of tone and temper. Okay, now that has its use value. That's fine, and that's what this whole boss mode thing was also about, is the fact that it gives you a wider range of visibility for it to be able to look at what you're doing and see if it can get a better read on predicting that next word, which is what this essentially tries to do. It tries to predict the best possible fit for completion of the idea here. And the templates, they take advantage of that, and that's why maybe sometimes you'll see aspects of that reveal it. But the general idea is that you can take this as you've always done, with or without boss mode, and you could again plug it into here. How to think about what you're good at doing, and it might give you a redundant answer, but that is kind of the general sentiment. You could then take this over, and instead of putting it into the blog outline, you could put that into Quora Answers, and it'll give you something that's similar. So think about what you're doing, what you enjoy doing. Write down 3 things you're good at. Look for a way to use those skills in your job or hobbies. Brainstorm ways that use your strengths, which can be used in other parts of your life, such as any volunteering, something that maybe you would do for free, or hobbies. This is why I was so keen on just having an unlimited access to something as good as Jarvis, especially when it comes to the templates. They are always trying to improve and accommodate all these people that they just want to be able to have a lot of this written out quick. They're trying to, now we have the tyranny of this figure over here, So, they're trying to get that number up, and they want to get it up fast, and I can appreciate that. I literally have a Jarvis clock, basically, which you go, it says like how fast you'd be able to write a particular size piece, given how many generations you're doing within a certain amount of time and how long the generations are. So that is something that you're always facing. So they're trying to always push this thing. They're like, okay, well, how do we get a whole bunch of output here? And then you run against what I consider one of the key things of conversion AI is the fact that when I use this in the way that I do, I often don't have to read a bunch of irrelevant stuff. I don't, because that is one of the key things, is that it takes so much time when you're having to read and get off track and reconsider and go, how do I talk to this thing? So when it's doing its thing, basically what's interesting here is we have in the pro tips that you could have this compose, and that'll have it run down. It won't actually consider the normal sort of templates that you have here. But you can have it run templates. You could have it go run a Jarvis command and keep the command in place, or just run the Jarvis command. So you can go, hey, write a blog intro about how to, so instead of having it go and write that next number like it did, because it's going like, oh, you have a 1 there, I'm going to give you a little answer to that, and then I'm going to give you a 2. So let's see if I'll copy this and then just go command enter, and I'll show you what happens here. It erased that, if you note that. So it says, there are many things that you can do in life, but not all of them will come naturally to you. Some people have a talent for math and numbers. See, this is interesting. This is an interesting type of thing. And what this did is it pulled from Jarvis and it said, hey, write me a blog intro. So it's like as if I went and I took that blog outline, I put that right here into the blog intro paragraph. And you could see how, if I wrote a big document like I prepared it, when you're doing computer programming, they like you to draw it out. They like you to actually have a little workflow, a flow chart, where you kind of have the symbols, so that the idea is that you could be in the park under a tree with your notepad doing computer programming, because you're just trying to see how this thing would actually function, so that by the time you get into build, then you're pretty certain the sort of components and how they're going to work together. Maybe even have a better approximation on the duration of how long it's going to take. So let's see. We could build this out. You could see kind of how this is. But before, again, we just really, everything was so isolated off. They're doing such a better job at integrating things that, I mean, if one is going to be having the unlimited, I can't imagine that they wouldn't want to pay an extra $10 just to get, this little thing. And some people, maybe they don't, maybe they wouldn't want to do it, but yeah, I think that I think it's pretty interesting. And basically, there's only one thing, and if it comes out where they have a new feature, or there's some sort of new feature here, and it makes you write less. You go, oh, even there's a feature that I don't want to buy, and now I feel like there's something that it can do that I don't want to do. It can maybe give you a sense of feeling defeated, and then you don't write as much. That is just as important to me. That's critical. The idea that you need something to just help you to stay completely excited about your writing and what you're doing here. Because if this new feature that comes out and you say, hey, I'm going to pay an extra $10 and I'm going to play with it, I guarantee you'll be using more of any other features. because that's literally what it's about. It's about the idea of getting your hands on this thing, and then trying to it just, when you pick up a basketball, it might not even be that fun until you actually start to maybe get used to it, and then you start feeling like you could sink a few shots or something. But having a little project, something that you want to knock down, that should be something where you could just kind of go to, start building out an article, start building something out, a little artifact, so that when you're done experimenting, you can kind of take a look at it. Maybe you can see you got some good words out of it. But also do know that as you're experimenting, this needs to be something that it is repeatable, where you can get right back into it, and you know that it's not going to take 10 times longer or twice as long the next time, because it's a process. But again, I just thank you guys for being a part of this. These things are constantly in flux. I mean, some new information has come to light, and may this allow you to dig ever deeper into what you do, and help you to really leverage this AI friend. Thank you. Take care.